Welcome on in, golf fans. It's your boy Gsluke here with our round 3 live stream for the Scottish Open. Gonna bring you all the DFS and prop knowledge that you need to go out there and have yourself a day for Saturday. And I guess maybe not a day, but a night, right? Obviously, 6 hours behind over here on the East Coast, and pretty much getting ready to go to sleep here in 2-3 hours. So unlike yesterday, we do have a drink in hand. I know for many of you, right, it's still early in your day, but for me, it's really like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So cheers to you if you're early with the drinking like me this evening, and let's have ourselves some fun. How did everyone do, Carl? First off, welcome in the chat, everyone. Cheers to you guys. Did really well today. For props, we're going to have a lot to talk about later. But in terms of DFS, at this point, I'm about 4x ROI. Today went about 6x ROI for my showdown. Nearly took down a few GPPs. And then in the community, we had a bunch of guys nearly taking down GPPs. So I'm assuming that a lot of people had a good day for showdown. For props, we'll talk about it later. PrizePicks is literally out there scamming us. So we'll talk about it later. It'll be a whole segment of the video. But the prop side, I'm a little bit salty on today. In fact, even thinking about the word PrizePicks, or more importantly, the word fairway. So by the way, down in chat, if you use the word fairway, it's going to trigger me. So every time I see it down there in chat, I'm going to be taking a sip out of the good old drink. So to that, to even the thought of fairways, I'm drinking to that. What's going on, Mark? No bueno for the ROI. That stinks, Michael. Hopefully we got you for Saturday or Sunday then. What's going on, Francis? You played the wrong Hogard. Yeah, you should have tailed me on the Nico Hogard pick. I played him for Showdown. I took his prop yesterday. I had someone down in chat that was tilting him missing like a 16-incher. That was on hole number 7 for him, I believe, which I didn't really get, right? Because he was like 8 under par, right? There was no way he wasn't going to cover the 70.5 line, but it makes sense from the DFS perspective. So I feel you on that. Yeah, definitely wish you were on Nico like me. Scam picks, good way to put it. PrizePicks, the other way that I was going to put it. I was going to wear a shirt. By the way, guys, PrizePicks sent me a shirt that says PrizePicks on it, right? Because I was an ambassador with the company about a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, I was told that I can't put an R right in front of the I. I'm going to wear it on stream, or else they have a liable ground to sue me, apparently. I had to ask one of my friends who's taken the bar exam and passed it. So I know he knows what he's talking about. And he told me that if I wore that, they'd have grounds to sue me. So I'm not wearing that shirt. But I do have a shirt about 5 feet from me right now that does have that R right in front of the I. So that tells me how I think about him. Crushed it, second place in the showdown. Love to hear it. Yeah, dude, today was a print fest, right? We mixed in the right sort of players. Our core plays, Haddon and Hovland, absolutely went off. That's why I was saying, I imagine a lot of you guys nearly took down GPPs today. I mean, I literally had like 5-6 lineups live in both the GPPs I was in. I put 40 in the main GPP. I put 20 in the $5 smaller GPP, and I had myself a day. $200 off a $1 entry. And I know you didn't even max that contest, right, with the 20 max. Good shit, bro. Great round 2 showdown. Yep. Turned your $20 into a min cash. Okay. Yeah, that works, right? Hey, that's not great, right? But you're not complaining at the same time. So pretty sweet. Fairway, fairway, fairway. Yeah, we're not going to use that as the 3 shots. I'll take 1 shot for that, but Jesus Christ. Cashed every lineup you played. Highest was the 7th in the 3X. Dude, that's awesome. And cheers, Luke, the office. Yeah, I figured, like you said, you guys are on a different timeline than me. I'm pretty much on Europe time right now. If you guys didn't know why, right, we obviously have the Open Championship next week. So my yearly ritual for this golf tournament and the next golf tournament is to get onto their time, right? Start waking up closer to like midnight if I can, so I can get up, right, react to the weather before lock, but then also be able to do these live streams, get all my lineups in, right, go to bed, and then wake up and rinse and repeat. So it's a lot of it is so I can wake up before lock and take a look at the weather, right? Make sure that not a lot has changed. I mean, first off, that's important for any slate that you're doing, right? I wake up before almost every single slate to begin with. But more importantly, over in Scotland, the weather changes so damn much. And it also makes such a huge impact on play that you have to do that, right? If you don't, and you're just going to ride it out based on the weather projections from 6 hours earlier, then you have a lot more stones than I do. I'll just go ahead and say that much. At least if you're playing high stakes, right? You're playing $5, $20. I mean, fuck it, right? Go out there, do your own thing, sleep throughout the weekend. If you're playing thousands of dollars on lineups like me, I couldn't see how you could sleep in. At least let me say that much. So let's take a look at today's performances. I mean, first off, there was a weather edge. I have to say, though, I was nervous right about like an hour into the PM wave. You had next to ideal conditions. There was no wind out there for like the first 2 hours of the PM wave. And they even got a little bit of just a light rain close to like 11:30, 12 p.m. local time, which was actually during the AM wave, which softened up the golf course, right? So they had a soft, pretty much no wind golf course to attack. And honestly, guys, I was shaking in my boots a little bit. I was not feeling good about our position, both for main slate and for Showdown. But of course, Mother Nature, right, always rears its ugly head. And for as much as shit that we want to give these weather forecasters, these meteorologists, they got it kind of right? The winds did kick up right around like 2 p.m. local. You had some rain that came through a little bit towards the end of the round. And overall, we saw about a one-shot difference between the two waves. It's what, 0.98 shots or... Well, I've got that completely wrong, don't I? I don't know. Close enough. Sizable difference between the two waves there. And I mean, that should have been larger, right? I said at least a shot difference. We saw pretty much right about a shot difference between the two waves. If those sort of conditions were present for the entire PM wave, like a lot of the forecasts were calling for, that would have been a shot and a half, a two-stroke difference. So I feel pretty good about it today. I mean, if you look at the ceiling performances, it speaks for itself, right? Terrell had an AM wave, Hogard AM, Van Rooyen actually might have been PM. I'm not 100% certain there, but I know Hovland was AM, Lowry, Hall was AM wave, Sam Burns PM wave. So, right, give credit where credit is due. But Scheffler AM, I believe Forrest was AM wave, Romain Langesca, Noah's AM wave, Kitayama, Connor, same thing. So in terms of your top 10 fantasy scores today, 8 of the top 10 were in the optimal wave, right? So like there's always the naysayers that'll say, oh, we should have played the PM wave, right? There were 2 guys in the top 10 that went out there and scored that way. You had to get super lucky, right, to get those top 2 players, right? It was 2 of 76 players that were viable out there in the PM wave. So I feel pretty good about what we did today, but unfortunately, doesn't really mean shit for tomorrow, right? We can take a look at today's performance and gloat all we want, but they're going off in threesomes. There's not really a huge split between the early and late tee times. So we're kind of stuck with a game theory slate, right? Yesterday, we made a lot of money just going after some of the guys in the AM wave. We can't really do that tomorrow, right? There's not waves to work with. We don't have any sort of weather differential that's going to throw off one wave or the other. It's all going to be about ownership and then just trying to take guys that can spike, right? So we'll go through, a lot of the players I'm taking. You'll probably get a good idea for my process at that point. But for this round 3 showdown, it's one of the smaller edge slates, right? Yesterday, I thought there was a pretty big edge out there between stacking the AM versus the PM wave. Today, maybe not so much, right? It's if you're going to take advantage of anything, right? If you're going to go out there and you're going to have a profitable day, it's going to be because you made the right ownership pivots, not so much as you just going out there and playing all AM guys. So that's why I say maybe for cash, it's not the best slate. For showdowns, for GPPs, right? I think it's fine, right? You can definitely go out there and still get that edge. But if you're trying to play cash and grind out ROI, it's probably not my favorite slate. So in terms of my overall strategy, right, a lot of times this is a good segue, right, when I go from the weather into the strategy, but not so much this time. I'm just looking to take ownership pivots. I'm trying to take players that are lower owned than they probably should be. And in general, I don't love the idea of spending up for Scotty or Rory. It's not so much the ownership, which is inflated on both of them. It's more so the fact that you have to spend so much salary, right? You have to dip down to the bottom of the 7s, the top of the 6K range to build those kind of lineups. And I feel like here for Saturday, for moving day, I want to jam in as many just solid, good players as I can that I'm trying to build a little bit more balance. So I'm avoiding these top 2 players. That's about, what is it, like 60% combined ownership between the 2 guys there. Rory, have to say, the scariest fade in human history. I'm just putting the balls to the wall. I'm just going out there, fully taking the kick to the nuts if he goes out there and shoots like 6 under par tomorrow because he's 37.7% owned. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? But on the other side of it, right, I kind of understand why he's 37, maybe 38% owned. because he's leading the field in tee to green play and he's losing a bunch of strokes putting. Just the week before and the performance before that, right? He was leading the field in putting through the first 3 rounds. So you would probably expect that to give at some point. You'd expect a few of those 9 to 15 foot putts to drop, which he was seemingly missing every single one of those putts today. And I don't know. That's why it's such a scary fade. Right, I'm not playing him. I honestly thought about putting him in the player pool just to kind of like be a cop out and say like, oh, I'll match the field on it. But the truth is that would just be a cop out move, right? That would be me being an absolute bitch, pansy, soft motherfucker out there. And you're not going to get that from me, especially when we've had a few Crown and Cokes in the system. That's just not going to happen out here. So yeah, we're fading Rory tomorrow. I know it's probably a horrible idea, but you know what? He's 38% owned. I don't give a fuck. Cheers to that. Let's see where we at in terms of chat. Let's catch up on questions. And then we'll go through a few players that I like. You have no concept of time. Yeah, that's pretty much me at this stage. And I've got to say, my food schedule, I think that's the worst part about this, Nick, is I don't know when to eat. So I'm not sure. My favorite place is PrizePicks has props out. Wow, I just Freudian sip right there with the PrizePicks. I don't even know if I'm going to look at them, Tanner. I don't even play PrizePicks tomorrow. Honestly, I haven't made up my mind. I was going to like ask the chat what you would do. We haven't even really talked about the full situation yet. When we get into it towards the prop section, I'm going to ask your opinion of whether I should even look at that board. So we're going to leave it as the site to not be named at this point. But yeah, later on, we're going to have a poll about that. You see pricing went up for the Open, but you also have a $5,000 option. Yeah, I think it's 5,500, right? You've got Matty Fitz at 5,500, a whole grouping of players between 55 to 6,000. I like it. I think that's the way they're going to move in the future. I don't think that's just going to be like a one-off thing. I think you'll start to see it for almost all pricing, and I think they'll take it from 5,500, maybe at the start of next season, down to $5,000. Which I'm all for. So yeah, we're going to talk about that quite a bit next week, Branica. But yeah, just looking ahead a little bit, it makes those players a lot more viable, right? It buys you even more up top. So that'll definitely have a huge impact on how people build lineups. So finished 10th in the 10K $5. That's awesome, dude. So you probably made like 20, 30X right there. Sweet. Going to be a day if Rory doesn't play to the price. Yeah, I'm hoping so. Like if he shoots 3 under par, 4 under par, we dodge that, right? So that'd be pretty sweet. Is there any easy way to check 6 of 6s? There are. It's called cutsweats.com. On there, you can not only check the field, right? See where the field is at, but you can also track for yourself. So check it out. I am not paid by them to say that, even though I would say it if I was. Carl says green or hill. It'd be green for me. You're definitely not playing PrizePicks. Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen me complaining about them, Nick, right? I know you don't play them very often. You can't even do it over there where you live. But they scammed us today, which we'll talk about later. But they also scammed us a month and a half ago on a completely different situation. I mean, they find any way to go out there and screw you. Totally forgotten to enter a lineup for the $5. I saw that. There were actually 2 of you that didn't enter lineups today. Hey, it happens to all of us. Happens to me all the time. I feel like it's happened like 5 times already. Some nice birdie or better lines. Yeah, you guys can look at that all you want. I'm not. That's a scam site. I have to say, Delbert, the only things I think I would play over there would be strokes and birdies because I don't think there's a way for them to contest that, right? Those are going to be consistent across the board, right? You're not going to see differences across the sites. I would be extremely careful if I were you, if I weren't playing strokes or birdies. That's all I got to say. Where's the Open? It's at Hoylake, which is a Royal Liverpool. Great golf course. Tom Hoagie, 6%. Yeah, Tom Hoagie going off. Hey, we played him today, right? I don't think we have to chase it tomorrow. And 4th in the $5 Gsluke. There you go. Actually, speaking of, I want to bring that up, right? That's something that I like to go through every single day. We're about to go through our player poll, but let's take a minute or so and take a look at how that went. So let's see. Would that be in my history already or no? It would be in my live. Let's see. If I can sort it by place because I know I finished towards the top of that contest. And let's bring it up. So you finished in 4th, you dirty bastard. You're one of the reasons I didn't cash, right? The top 5 cashed in this contest. Oh, wait, was it the top 4? No, it was the top 5. And look who finished in 6th place. Your boy, Gsluke. So got absolutely fucked by Justin Rose. The guy decided not to play golf today. And yeah, everyone above me cashed, including Nick, UK Mr. Bean, who sent me a cap from Royal Liverpool, which I'll have any day now, which I'm looking forward to. Jay Roman, Dr. Rico up there, JK in 5th place. So first off, congrats to Dr. Rico for taking down the contest. And yeah, Nick, let's take a look at your lineup. So you got screwed by Adam Scott, right? Didn't have the best day today. Maybe Gary Woodland kind of held you back, but overall, very consistent lineup. Got to say, right? You didn't have like the Terrell Hatton who absolutely went off. You didn't have a few other guys that went absolutely nuclear, but you got the job done. So yeah, unfortunately for me, I played fucking Justin Rose like an absolute slapdick and played the nuts elsewhere, right? Had Haddon and Hovland in the same lineup. We had Bjork, who played pretty well. Even Victor Perez, Jordan Smith, I'd say were acceptable performances. But yeah, Justin Rose, not going to get it done making 2 birdies on the day. I mean, in the good wave too, solid conditions, a golf course that he's played before, you probably expect a little bit more there. So yeah, unfortunate is what it is. This is not a bitch fest, though. We're not going to sit here and just complain about our lineups. Is what it is. Let's go through some strategy stuff. We'll go through questions here in a second. If you have any questions, throw them down in chat. In terms of strategy, it's all about game theory, right? I mentioned weather not being a huge part of the process. It's why I don't think cash is really the move tomorrow. I don't see like a foreshore edge to go out there and exploit. If you're going to go out there and you're going to make money profit for PGA DFS tomorrow, it's going to be because you made the right ownership pivots. So let's go ahead, just sort this by ownership, right? Let's not fuck around. Let's just get to what's important here, right? So let's go over here to column E. We'll sort it by largest to smallest, get the chalk at the top up here, right? And get through it. So Rory, 38% owned. I know that he's an absolute god. He's walking on water at this point. But unless you're willing to take him in like 3/4 to 100% of your lineups, don't play him straight up, right? If you're playing like 3-4 lineups, you shouldn't be playing Rory McIlroy unless you're playing him in every single lineup. Terrell Hatton, he's -9. I know he played well for us today, but he gained a bunch of strokes putting, right? And he's going to be like 26% owned. So no thank you there. Scotty, I'm a little bit more warm to playing. So like if you're going to play any of this chalk, I guess playing Scotty Scheffler, I would be a little bit less pissed off about because first off, it's Scotty Scheffler, the guy's the best player in the world. That's obviously true over the last 3-4 months. But more than that, he's kind of worth the price of admission, right? He didn't even play all that well today, and he still took it well under par. If he just starts to make a few putts, I mean, he's going to easily shoot 7-8 under par, right? You're not asking for all that much for Scotty Scheffler to succeed. The main issue I have with him is the ownership and then the price tag. You got to spend down, right? You got to take a 6K option to really build a regular kind of build if you're taking a Scotty Scheffler, and that's just not my favorite option, right? Going from the 7 down to the 6K range. Not a bunch of guys down there that I like. Tom Kim, he's had 2 good rounds in a row. I really think it's pretty hard to back that up, so I'm just fading that based on ownership there. I guess a few chalky guys I am playing. Ricky Fowler I'm playing. The guy's been on a heater for like 3-4 months. I don't think it's that far-fetched to expect him to continue it tomorrow, right? The guy's literally been this hot, top 10ing almost every single week for like 3 months now, right? Like there's a difference between Ricky Fowler keeping it hot and then like Tom Kim, right? I think Tom Kim's probably the best example. The guy's been utter dog shit more often than not, right? It's probably harder for him to keep it going than Ricky Fowler, who's been like this for 3 months now, right? That's my opinion, right? If you don't agree, that's fine, right? Play Tom Kim, but that's how I'm handling that. You got JT Max Homa there too. JT, not as chalky as I think he should be because he's still way super cheap. He had a few bad rounds last week. He's had 2 good rounds to this point. He's shown a lot more good than bad over his last 10, 12 rounds, which is why I'm so high on him at this price tag. So yeah, 21.5% I'm playing him. Max Homa, maybe it's just a little bit of a, I don't even know the word for it. Like he feels like a horrible play, right? Because he is getting some ownership. It's Max Homa. I feel like $9,000 is like a fair price tag for him. Like it doesn't feel like you're getting a bunch of value, but it does feel like Max Homa is going to go low tomorrow. So I'm playing him. So yeah, sometimes, right, you guys take gut decisions, you incorporate them into your player pool. That's all Max Homa is for me. Not really a rhyme or reason for playing him. Xander Schauffele, Sam Burns I'm playing. I'd say Xander like at 18%. That's like almost like a pivot play at that point. Sam Burns at like 16.7%. Like that's pretty average when it comes to ownership. Whereas like a Lowry, Hovland, Harmon, are calculated fades. So let's see. Of the top 10 priced players, right, I'm fading 7 of them. Right, there's only 3 that I'm using in my player pool. So if you're looking at your player pool, you're trying to see whether you have too much chalk or not, just sort it by ownership, look at the top 10. And if you have, I'd say anything less than 4, let's say like 4 or less of those top 10 owned plays, you're probably doing a good job. If you have like 5 or 6 or more than that, for goodness sakes, you need to reevaluate things, right? You should not be playing 6 of the top 10 chalkiest players unless you're playing in a cash contest. Then that maybe makes a little bit of sense. Let's go ahead, take this back to the normal look, take it back to the price tag sorting, and go through some of my top value plays, right? That's how we handled it yesterday, and I think it's a good way to handle it today. Thoughts on Homa? Lost 3 in approach and still shot 2 under. Yeah, like with a stud, if they have an alarming stat profile, like if it was a scrub that lost 3 strokes on approach, I would have no interest in playing him, right? Whereas if it's Max Homa, we know that he's capable of turning it around. That's actually a pretty good thing, right? He somehow still shot -2 despite not having his best stuff with the iron. So I think I'm with you there. I can't tell if you're playing him or not, Nick. It kind of feels like you might be, based on how you worded that one there. But if you're playing him, I'm there with you. I'll have him. Patrick Harrington, let's see. I got to look at his stats. Honestly, Harrington, I'm not very high on because he's an old fuck. I mean, let's be honest about it. But, I mean, if he's hitting the ball well, that's really what it comes down to for me, right? If he's hitting the ball well, not the worst idea. What did he shoot? Did he really fall at the end of his round? I know at one point he was like towards the top of the leaderboard. Wait, my leaderboard, by the way, I'm on another tab right now, right? Has David Law -4 through 7. That's what it looked like on early Thursday morning. I would look. Jeez Louise. The PGA Tour leaderboard does not seem to be working, guys. Let's see, can I get to? Nope. What in the actual hell? Yeah, if I go to the Genesis Scottish Open leaderboard here, I'll just show you guys. And look at this. I'm not tripping here. Look what the leaderboard shows me right now. David Law's -4 apparently. Right? This was like 30 minutes, an hour into the golf tournament. I guess like an hour, right? Because he's hole through 8. Thomas Usury -4 apparently. Xander Lombard is apparently -3 in a 3rd place. And Rory McIlroy is just starting his first round apparently and is through 5 holes. Seems legit, right? Seems legit. ESPN not working either. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Let me go in Data Golf. They probably have it, right? Data Golf can't be fucked up too. And if they're fucked up too, then we're shit out of luck here because I did not save the live stats. Well, all right, it looks like this is working. All right, we should be able to get it set up. Where we at? Patrick Harrington. Let's look at his stats, right? That's probably the best way to go through this. So Harrington today, this is only for today's round. He gained putting, lost a little bit around the green. It's kind of surprising, honestly. And he gained on approach and off the tee. That's a good stat profile. That is much more impressive than I thought we'd see. Jake, I don't think I'm going to get there. Let me be frank with you. I think that's a little bit crazy. I think you're a little bit wild for doing that. But the stat profile's there. Like, if you're just blatantly throwing the name out of the window, you're ignoring who Harrington is, right? And you're just looking at the stats, it's a damn good play. That's all I can say for you. I can't do it myself because I know the name's there. But if you can throw that aside, it's a good play. You feel like the last month, all we've been saying is if Scotty starts making putts. I agree, Nick, but he actually did so during the first round. So let me show you this. This was wild, right? Scotty Scheffler in round 1, did he gain with the putter? Yeah, he gained. No, he lost the putter. He lost 1 stroke putting. I guess it was through his first like 12, 14 holes. He was gaining with the putter, ended up losing by the end of the day. But like he lost strokes on approach in round 1, right? You can see that right there. And then did most of his work around the green and off the tee. I don't think he's that far off. I think we might get it soon, but yeah, you're right. You're 100% right, Nick. We have been saying that for like 2-3 months now, and it just hasn't happened, right? Guy might just suck at putting. Hope Ricky wins the Open. I would love it. Would you play Rory in 150 lines or full-blown fade? Full-blown fade, Sean. It's that kind of day, right? Like you got to find an edge. And if you can box out 38% of the field, if you're looking for a jailbird dupe, check out the Wilson Infinite. Dude, I got to say, Tom, I need a freaking jailbird putter. Your boy is not making any putts right now. You're saying the Buckingham head apparently has the same feel. I'll look into it. I might just buy the jailbird because I'm that bad at putting. I really need the real thing, but we'll see. Higo and Forrest kind of feels like chasing on Forrest. Higo like a little bit more. The scoreboard's messed up. Yep. I mean, just how annoying is that? Give the vid some likes. Least we can do. You're better than that. Hey, honestly, man, I'm not a big likes guy. Like I know it gets it out there to more people on YouTube, but like the only reason I want more people to watch it is first off to get value, second off to grow my business, right? So like, yeah, like it if you need to, right? It helps me growing out the business and whatnot, but I'm never going to be the guy to go out there and like beg for likes. That's just not my thing. If you like what you're watching here, make some money on it, go ahead, like the video, right? Probably a good way to do it. Harrington shot 4 under, and today he's -7. What did he shoot today? -4, correct? He shot -3, apparently, according to Data Golf. I have no idea. Oh, you're saying over there on the other leaderboard? Yeah. Look at this, and it's changing live here. Now David Law's -3, guys. Like, and I remember I was up watching this on Thursday morning, guys. Like this was the leaderboard at one point a day and a half ago. It's kind of blowing my mind here. Leaderboard must be down. Yeah. Jake, I'd hope they would. I called him out on Twitter. By the way, guys, let's just have the conversation now, okay? PrizePicks, and I know a lot of you guys are doing Showdown stuff here. We're still going to talk about Showdown. I still want to go through this. I still want to call them out, give them bullshit, even if you're somebody that only plays DraftKings, just so you know, right? In case one of your buddies is playing PrizePicks, because they've done some shameful things today, to say the least. So let's bring up our first tweet and go through it. Today on PrizePicks, I took a bunch of unders on fairways. Essentially, the board was priced like they thought that there was 14 fairways when there's only 13 because there's 5 par 3s. And the weather conditions were shitty, so on and so forth. Everyone on the board was projected over the field average. So, of course, naturally, I took every single player under, right, for their fairways. Even the players that were kind of borderline, right, I took unders for. Truth is, we hit it like 65, 67% today for unders, but it should have been like 80%, and it should have been like the rest all pushes. There should have only been one over on the entire board. That was Scotty Scheffler, who obviously is just Jesus walking on water at this point, but everyone else should have gone under. And the thing is, it's not objective. It's like very obvious that everyone should have gone under. For whatever reason, PrizePicks counted adjacent fairways. And by an adjacent fairway, I mean literally a completely different hole, like 40, 50 yards to the left. They counted that as a fairway. And they also counted any intermediate as a fairway. So that means if somebody hit like the first cut of rough, that was always counted as a fairway hit. And it also meant that if they hit a fairway 80 yards offline, like happened in 3 of the cases today that we tracked, that they counted as a fairway. And unfortunately for us, in a lot of cases, that led to people pushing or led to people going from a push to an over on a few props. That was ridiculous. Just for a few examples of proof, right, in case you think I'm bullshitting you. Wyndham Clark, there was 13 fairways, by the way. 53% driving accuracy rate, right? 53% means he hits 7 fairways. PrizePicks marked him as 8. We had Thigala, right, who hit 46% of fairways. That means he hit 6 of the 13. They marked him as 7 fairways. Over here for Tommy Fleetwood, he hit 61% of fairways. Pretty good, right? He hit 8 fairways. Well, they marked him as 9 right there. Let's go over here to Adam Scott, right? They have him at 53% driving accuracy today. Well, that means he hit 7 fairways, right? Should have pushed this line. Well, they marked him at 8 fairways. It's hard to explain. Over there on the PGA site, the explanation, I guess, is that they did have them at the higher lines, but the PGA site was just clearly wrong, right? They posted the wrong number. The DP World Tour that's doing all of the shot tracking, doing all of the stat keeping, had them at their correct numbers. And then the PGA site, which, by the way, if you go to the shot tracker and go hole by hole and track all of those players, they hit all of the numbers that the DP World Tour hit, right? It was just some sort of glitch in their system, counted the adjacent fairway, and then, like I said, the intermediate cuts, which there aren't even all that many intermediate cuts around the Renaissance Club, as a fairway hit, and that completely skewed all of the stats. It's a mistake, right? I've called them out for it. People, and here's the line that was drawn, right? I called them out for it, no response. That's okay, right? I'm just some random guy tweeting at them. There are dozens of people that have called them out on the PrizePicks Discord, right? So their server that their admins and their lines makers run, that are banning people that even mention the argument, that even bring up the word fairway, are immediately timed out for a week or banned. That is some Nazi shit. That is some communist China, some communist Russia shit that these people are on right now. And honestly, it's criminal at this point. So that's why I made it a point to point out right now, and literally robbed me of at least $500, $600. I know my boy Harley lost like $1,200 on it, and I'm sure a bunch of people in the community have lost at least $500 to $1,000 themselves, right? So if you add it up, right, that's at least probably 100 people that lost between $500 to $1,000. That's like a $100,000 that they've stolen just out of people's pockets. That is worth calling out, and honestly criminal, and honestly might be worth trying to take criminal action against at some point. So worth throwing out there. All right, so that's why I'm so tilted, if you couldn't tell, because I was sitting on that the whole live stream here, and I'm sure a lot of people are tilting about that too. Let's see, where are we at? I lost my spot in chat. Bear with me here, guys. Rory plus 63. You're playing Polkinen because nobody will. Makes sense. Yeah, nobody will play him because we can't pronounce his name. I think it's Polkinen. It's kind of like those Russian, I know he's Scottish, right? So don't crucify me there, Nick. But it kind of sounds like one of those like Russian hockey players. It's like Molkinen or like Rakinen, right? I think is like one of their names. It's like Polkinen, right? That's how you say his name. Bobby would fit in perfectly with the PrizePicks employees. Yep. Yeah, roundup issue. Yeah, maybe it is a roundup issue. You stopped playing PrizePicks months ago. Yeah, so did I. I stopped playing them after the issue with the, I think it was whole like 16 through 18 props at the Wells Fargo. Unfortunately, they kind of roped me back in, right? They had no house advantage up for a little bit, which was a good substitute, but that went underwater. And then they had a few good props up. They were treating me decent for a few weeks, and then they pulled this stunt. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you never like sites like that. Don't play on them anymore. That's going to be my policy. Like, let's do the poll now, right? I talked about doing a poll before. Will you play on PrizePicks knowing the information that you know now? For me, it's 50-50, and it's only 50-50 because I know my community, in theory, and right, this is in theory, wants to play PrizePicks, right? It's like the biggest prop site out there. Literally, the only reason I play on the site is to help those people on my Patreon. Do you even want to play PrizePicks anymore is the question I have, right? Knowing that they can find any reason possible to not pay you out on your props, right? And this reason this time was because the PGA site said something different than the Eurotour site, completely different than the shot tracker, and decided to go with that. Do you even want to play on that site anymore? Just let me know, yes or no, down in chat. Just very simple, one-word answer works on it. You can add to it if you'd like. I'll leave it open the entire time. I'm going to remind you about it. I need to know. Let's hop back into this. So in terms of our strategy, right, we talked about fading some of the chalk. There are some early guys I like, right? In the early guys, actually, I should rephrase that. It's not early on tee time. I just mean guys towards the further back end of the leaderboard, right? Again, remember, it's 3 sums off of both tees. So it's not like you're getting a weather advantage here. It's all about the game theory side. So for me, Corey Connors, he finished his round today on absolute fire. I love that, right? I like trying to get behind a player that has momentum. Robert McIntyre, he likes rainy conditions. He's from Scotland. If anyone's going to be able to handle a very typical Scottish day, it's probably Robert McIntyre. So I'm playing him. Gary Woodland, it's more of a gut play than anything, but he's capable of handling difficult conditions, right? Major champion to this point. That's the real idea there for me. We've got Olesen in there, Eric Cole, both players that have a stout short game, very well-rounded players, also relatively low-owned. We've got guys like Loin, Perez, right, Eurotour guys that should be able to handle these conditions. Austin Eckroat, just got to say, is like the most mispriced guy on the slate. Like, this guy has been an absolute animal for the last 2-3 months on the PGA Tour. There's no reason that he should be priced around guys like a Loin or a Romain Langesque, right? That's disrespectful to good old Austin Eckert there. So I know I'm not overthinking things. I'm not playing chalk. I'm just trying to take guys that are solid golfers that are relatively low owned. Very similar to all the round 3 strategies that I'm going with. So I know Guido, right? Hardly made the cut. I like him. Antoine Rosner, really good Euro Tour guy. Marcel Siem fits that same description. Matt Wallace has gained over 5 strokes on ball striking today. Will Gordon had a really good round 1, maybe struggled a little bit in round 2, but showed me something in round 1, so I want to tail that. You get the idea. I guess the one out of the box guy I'm playing would be Tom McKibben. This kid's an absolute stud. He's like one of those young up and coming prospects, kind of like one of those prodigies that you see. This time coming out of the UK, he'll be in the field next week. He's a talent that was gone into the field via sponsorship exemption. Might want to keep an eye on Tom McKibben. Might go out there and have himself a round. So not too much craziness going on, right? Like I said, just taking some of the ownership pivots, taking some of the players that are more aggressive, maybe a little bit higher birdie percentage than some of the guys around them, and making a player pool. It's nothing. It's not like last slate, right, where we were playing all the AM guys. It's much more open this time around. Let's go through some lineup construction stuff, and then afterwards we're going to go through some prop stuff. So let's get over there. Let's bring up some round 3 showdown and get this thing rolling. So in terms of lineup construction, once again, just like round 2, I feel like there's not that much we have to think about, right? I'm mostly taking pivots to begin with, not really any chalk that I'm mixing in. So just mix in those pivots. It's really that easy, right? Just mix and match your top player pool. I don't think you have to leave salary on the table. You should be good to go. Now, if you're playing some chalk, let's say you want to start with like a Rory. Let's say you like cannot avoid Rory McIlroy. And let's say you're like your second man in's kind of chalky. Let's throw in JT, right? JT's still getting some ownership. Then you might have to worry about ownership, right? You might have to mix in a few guys that are sub 5% owned. But because I'm not playing a Rory McIlroy, I don't have to worry about that shit, right? My lineup building process is going to be as easy as setting my player pool on my optimizer and hitting optimize. Maybe I have to set a few, exposure caps, right? Make sure I'm not playing like 99% of somebody out there. But outside of that, it's not going to be a very complicated week for me. So worth noting that. That's how I'm taking on round 3. As per usual, though, if you're playing some chalk, just mix in a few pivots. Don't have to overthink it out there. Let's see. Do a poll. I don't think I can over here on StreamYard. I mean, maybe I can. Let's see. I don't think I can on this site. I think I have to have it up on like OBS. It'd be sick if I could. Let's see if I can real quick. I have StreamYard. So if anyone's out there that's a streamer and you have StreamYard, let me know. But it doesn't look like I can unless I'm an absolute tool bag. I can't figure it out, which is always a possibility. I'm pretty good with technology, but I'm not perfect by any means. Let's see. It's not on that tab. Background music. Sick. It doesn't look like we have a pull, though. You think you have to stick with birdie or better in strokes? Yeah, still haven't even looked at the birdie or better board, honestly. Boycott, not a bad idea. Friend of yours kept suggesting sleeper. Yeah, they need to offer golf props, though. They don't have golf stuff on there yet. If they do, that'd be sick. Yeah, no. So 2 no's at this point. Looks like 3 no's. By the way, add to that. Are you even like willing to play PrizePicks after their shenanigans, right? As of this point, it's 0 guesses and 2 no's. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Pokinen doesn't have bad stats. Let's look at it. Haven't even given him a gander at this point. Wait, he's not from Scotland, is he? He's from Norway, I believe, right? Is that flag? No, that's not Norway. That's Finland. He's Finlandese. So he's not even from Scotland. So let's see. He lost putting, gained around the green, gained on the green on approach, and gained off the tee. Yep. Let's see. What did it look like round 2? So for today's round. Lost putting, lost around the green, and then he gained on approach and slightly lost off the tee. Yeah, I could see it, dude. I mean, that's like the perfect stat profile we're looking for, right? Somebody that can improve with the putting, keep it going with the ball striking, and have a good day. And that definitely fits that description. So I think I'm with you there, Nick. Let's see. So PrizePicks posted a board. PrizePicks. We're not going to do analysis. I just want to look at the board, take it in, because we're not going to play any props there. But it's good to know what they have props at, right? Very predictable, I'd say. Very predictable indeed. Let's just go with that. Let's take a look at Underdog. Have we gotten anything yet? Wait, Underdog's normally coming out with props before PrizePicks, so that's surprising out there. So maybe they want to look at the PrizePicks board, just copy and paste it. That wouldn't surprise me. That's something that they've done a lot over the last few weeks. And it looks like we're going to get props in this like 68 to 69 range for a lot of your elite tier players. And then for birdies or better, like 4 to 3.5 for most players on the field, right? You got 4.5 for like a Rory Scotty. They're the outliers out there. Just first glance, like under for 68 for Scotty, under 68 for Rory seemed like absolutely free. I would say that Ricky looks really good at 68.5. I would say at 69, like a JT looks good at that sort of price tag. These would be the main 4 players that I would take. And honestly, like I said, I'm not going to play PrizePicks props after what they did today. I more so just want to see what they do over here in Underdog. And I don't want to give the Underdog lines maker Red Mamba too much firepower to work with. So I might leave it at that. It felt like yesterday, by the way, guys, if you didn't notice, they dropped the Underdog board like as soon as I went off live stream yesterday. It felt like the good old Red Mamba was watching and then adjusted the board. So hey, if you're watching Red Mamba, glad you're a fan. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you aren't already, Red Mamba, and we'll be good on that end. Let's look at chat. Does Jock Market, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about there, offer PGA props? You're down for playing PrizePicks only for big value? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like if they have really good value out there, maybe we take them. But outside of that, they do offer PGA props, but they're not extensive. It's usually only like 1 or 2 categories. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Maybe if we urge them a little bit, start playing there, maybe we tweet at them for some more props, we can get a little bit more. But yeah, not much. Yep. Yeah, they limit you real quick. Tough scene. You didn't even withdraw. We're only up 1,500 and got limited. Dude, that sucks because I've won like 5 to 10 grand off their stock market version, right? We go out there and you can win money versus the house, and they haven't limited me. How about Forced? Let's look at the stats. It kind of feels like chasing with Forced because he had the good round today, right? So let's see. Round 2, gained with the putter. Kind of a bad sign, right? Gained with the approach, okay. Let's see. Round 1, lost with the putter, gained on approach. I mean, that shows the volatility, right? He's got to gain, whatever it is, 2.1 strokes putting to have this -5 performance. I don't love that. So, yeah, I would probably avoid him, boss man. I mean, you do you, but not my favorite play. Only reason you know that is because of Rick Run Good. Yeah, he does a bunch of streams on it. I used to do NBA plays for Jock Market. I also used to do some I guess I did a few videos too on golf plays for Jock Market. It's a real easy way to grind out ROI, but it kind of sucks that they're doing that with the props. Like they don't limit you for the stock market. Like you can play whatever the hell you want on there for that version, but not props, I guess. You came in late. What's the timestamp if you already talked about it? Let's see. For Jock Market, no, you're good. We're just talking about it right now. Honestly, at this point, I think we're going to cut off the stream. Again, I don't really want to play PrizePicks. If I was going to play anything, okay, it would be these 2 unders. I would play Scotty and Rory under because I think the scoring average is going to be very similar to what we saw today, which if we go over here in Data Golf, bring it up once again, was a 0.8 strokes under par. For somebody like Scotty or Rory to gain 1.2 strokes to the field is like almost a gimme, right? So like these guys are probably going to at the very least push, if not go out there and both hit. So if I was going to do anything, it'd be these 2, but I don't want to promote their site. It's after what happened today, you probably understand why I think that way. So let's go over any last second questions, and then after that, hop on out of here. Let's see. You're saying for the weather? Yeah, the weather. Here, I'll just bring it up for you. You got the time for it, right? I've got to go to the bathroom, by the way. So that's half the reason I want to get out of here. But we'll go over the weather for you, right? So yeah, I went over it earlier, but we'll take a look. It looks pretty easy today, I'd say, right? The wins aren't getting high at any point. I'd say your sustained wins are slightly higher in the morning than the afternoon, but there's no weather edge to be had because there's no AM versus PM wave. And for props, it looks a lot easier than today. They've got the rain this afternoon. They're going to get some rain overnight. And then the wind gusts look the same, if not slightly lower than what we had for today. So I'm thinking it's going to play easier based on what I'm looking at. So, oh, good, boss man. Will you do Underdog on Patreon? Yeah, absolutely, Jason. Yeah, I always do Underdog over there. PrizePicks, I might not do on Patreon tonight, just because I don't know if anyone even wants to play PrizePicks after what happened today, right? I think that's a pretty common sentiment. But yeah, Underdog for sure. I was kind of hoping they'd have the board up because that's what I want to play, right? I have no issues playing Underdog. If anything, they've been really good with some of the DMPs, with some of that kind of stuff over the last few weeks. PrizePicks the opposite. Yeah, they don't even have rivals up right now for PrizePicks. For Underdog. Kind of unfortunate. Too many strong liquid consumption. I got you. It takes time, brothers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to take some time. So, all right, we're going to cut it off at this point. I've got to get some dinner in my belly. We've got to get some prop analysis done. But until next time, best of luck with your lineups here for round 3. Again, not the same kind of edge that we had for round 2 where we can take a look at the weather, but fade the chalk, go out there, play some game theory, and you're going to have yourself a day for Showdown here for Saturday. So until then, like I said, best of luck. I'll catch you guys for the round 4 stream, and let's get some cash for tomorrow, fellows.